Welcome back. Here's your latest Florida housing market update. The Florida Association of Realtors just announced their latest numbers for June. So in today's video, I'm going to share what's happening right now regarding closed home sales, home prices, housing inventory, the share price reductions, and of course, much more. If you guys get any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Also consider subscribing as well because I post frequent housing market updates on a national level and also in some select markets as well as some select states as well. So hope you guys get a lot of value out of today's video. Let's go ahead and dive right in. This again is from the Realtors Association in Florida. So let's first talk about closed home sales. This is the number of sales transactions which close during the month, of course. And by the way, the stats I'm sharing in today's video is only looking at single family houses, excluding manufactured houses and also excluding condos and townhomes as well. So for the month of June, there was a decrease of 7.9% compared to June of 2022 in the number of closed home sales statewide in Florida. Approximately 26,000 closed home sales. 1 year ago, there was just over 28,000. One thing I actually really like about their monthly updates here from the Association of Realtors in Florida here is that the share previous numbers going back to 2019. So the current levels we have right now is roughly on par with June of 2019. Right now at 26,000. Back in 2019 this time, there was around 28,000. Also, something I found to be interesting as well is when looking at the number of closed home sales in June 2020, there was over 30,000 closed home sales. And then back in June of 2021, there was well over 30,000, approximately 34,000 compared to only 26,000 this June. So big picture here, even though there's approximately the same number of closed home sales compared to pre-pandemic levels, it's still well below 2021 and down by about 8% from last year's levels. Florida Realtors also provided the latest numbers regarding the number of cash sales statewide. So for the month of June, there's approximately 7,400. That's a decrease of 20.1% year over year. 1 year ago, there's around 9,200 cash sales, and now again, it's approximately 7,400. So when looking at the chart below here, when looking at 2021, in 2021, there's well over 10,000 cash sales versus only 7,300 this year, or this June, I should say. Back in 2019, this time, there's around 6,000. So it's very interesting to see that we have more cash sales compared to pre-COVID levels, even though it's well below the past couple of years. Let's also talk about home prices in the state of Florida as a whole, because the median sold price this June was $420,000, roughly equal to May's number of $419,900. Something else I found to be interesting as well is the year-over-year change right now is 0%. This has been paid at 0% for 3 consecutive months now. So not an increase in growth, but not a decrease in home prices as well. Something that's just absolutely mind-blowing though is that at $420,000 this June, again, it was also $420 back in 2022, but back then, home prices increased by 19.7% compared to June of 2021. One more thing you guys should be aware of though is that even though prices are flat year over year, they have been increasing for 5 consecutive months. Going back to February 2023, have increased every single month since then. I will say this is more like a seasonal uptick because it is normal to see home prices increase after the winter months, of course. And that's one reason why home prices have been increasing for the past 5 months in a row. Also, when looking at historical trends regarding the median sold price for single family houses in the state of Florida, even though we're flat year over year, it's still up greatly compared to 2019. In June 2019, the median sold price was approximately $275,000. Now it has increased to $420,000. And that equates to approximately a 53% increase in the median sold price in Florida going back to June of 2019. They also provided the sale price to original list price ratio. This is a ratio which measures how closely home sellers are getting their asking price. So for this June, the ratio was 97.5%, which means on average this June, for the state as a whole, home sellers sold their houses for about 2.5% below their original asking price. In fact, home sellers on average have been selling their houses for below their original asking price going back to August last year. Now here's something wild, drastically different compared to just 12 months ago. This is days on the market, how fast it takes for a home seller after they list their house for sale to accept an offer from a home buyer. That's days on the market. The median days on the market this June was 26 days. This is a 160% increase compared to June of 2022, when back then it only took 10 days to sell a house. Now it's taking nearly 3 times as long. Now what's wild about this is that at 26 days, again, this is much lower compared to last year, but also much lower compared to 2021, when on average, houses were selling for less than 10 days, which is absolutely insane. But having said that, it really shows how 2021 and the first half of 2022 were absolutely insane, because at 26 days right now, this is actually faster than June of 2019, when on average, houses sold for about 39 days. So of course, what this means is that even though houses are taking longer to sell compared to the past couple of years, they're still selling for about 13 days faster compared to pre-COVID levels. Let's also have a look at the number of houses for sale that went under contract with a home buyer. The home seller accept the offer from a home buyer. That's a new pending home sale. So for June, that's a decrease of 3.2%. Now this is absolutely wild, because only for 3 consecutive months now, we've had single digit decreases in the number of new pending home sales year over year. Drastically different compared to October last year, for example, when we saw a giant decrease of 41.2% compared to October 2021. Even though the percent change year over year has been moderating regarding new pending home sales, here's something that's actually getting worse. Here's the number of new listings in the state of Florida, a decrease of 27.4% year over year, the biggest year over year decrease in at least the last 12 months. Only 29,220 new listings this June compared to 40,244 in June of 2022. Also, when looking at this chart below right here, for June 2022, at 40,000, that was at least the all-time record high going back to at least 2019. The highest number of new listings going back to January of 2019, at least. That's one reason why the year-over-year change is so much greater right now compared to the past 12 months. Something I found to be very intriguing as well is that at 29,000 new listings, looking at June of 2019, there was also around 30,000 new listings. So the number of people who are opting to list their houses for sale is roughly on par with pre-COVID levels. It's also worth noting as well is that new listings have been decreasing compared to the previous year now for 11 consecutive months now, going back to August last year, when at that time it was a decrease of 3%. So of course, as you may guess, because we're seeing a lack of new listings hitting the market, this is one reason why active listings are not increasing at the same pace we saw to start the year, for example. So in June, there's around 60,000 active listings, or the number of houses for sale. That's an increase of 13.8% year over year. That may sound like a lot, but not nearly close to the giant increases that we saw in November 2022, up by 105%, through March this year, a giant gain of 116%. What we should expect to see over the next couple months as well is a potential for fewer active listings compared to last year here very, very soon. Because look at active listings at this time last year, which was right here, June 2022. We saw active listings absolutely increase big time in May, June, and July. So if we don't see this giant surge of active listings in July, this number right here, up by 13.8%, is likely to be in single digits here in the next couple of months. That, of course, is the caveat that we're not going to see a giant surge of new listings in the next couple of months as well, though. Lastly, I want to discuss the number of distressed home sales in Florida as well, because these numbers here are mind-blowing. So regarding the number of traditional home sales, these are not foreclosures, not short sales. This June, there's 25,894. For foreclosures and REOs, or real estate owned properties, only 149 for the entire state of Florida for the month of June. Short sales, only 28 out of almost 26,000 regular closed home sales in June. On top of that, the numbers haven't been increasing very much as well, because foreclosures and REOs last year was 124, now it's just under 150. 1 year ago for short sales, there was 43. Now again, there's only 28. So the number of distressed home sales is virtually non-existent right now. And with that said, please leave a comment below with your biggest takeaways from today's video. Also consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.